Bring up my chats. For some reason. Never anyone in the YouTube chat. It's just how it is. Going for the elbow still. Market distinction for tankers number 2. Up the volume. Yeah, we're gonna ditch the airline, or the anti-airline. We're ditching the anti-airline. We're gonna, because we want to go with the BTR-80A and the T-72M1 and Leopard and Leopard 2A7. So, yeah. Usually we probably don't need to get the regular yet. But it's all good. It's all locked in now. Let's go.
In battaglia!
Come on.
Prepararsi! Carista pronto! Artigliere pronto!
Caricatore pronto!
Aerial 44, make it up here. Looks like it. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I didn't know we could. Probably just gonna encounter another M18. Which would actually be alright.
Enemy forces have captured a zone. Allied forces have captured a zone.
This is my bad. Really, really bad. Damn.
the advantage anymore.
Cannon breach. That's a W. That is not a W. That is a W.
A töltéskezelő eszméletlen!
Attention to the map!
That's great. Oh, but man, am I still dead? Yeah.
Attacco aereo nel vostro settore!
Siamo stati colpiti!
No, it is. It's pretty rough out here. I need improved parts for that because I just get hit. I get hit too much. I need parts. Hearts, not hearts. Parts with a P.
In battaglia!
Preparatevi! Carista pronto! Artigliere pronto! Caricatore pronto!
The other side. Probably be worse. you doing?
Tiger a ore 2. Distanza 400.
Ooh,
Bersaglio colpito.
that was close.
Bersaglio colpito.
It's too close. I'm in a bit. I'm doing alright? I hope so. It's fine. Could be better. Could always be better. But that's just how it is. Nice.
Bersaglio colpito.
I end him now. Saw that guy over here. Nope. I hope. I hope. I hope. I hope it's not enough. I know it's not enough. In time. Everyone says. But I'm not getting any younger.
Colpito. Bersaglio colpito.
Like social contract being broken and all that. Igor. Okay, good, he died. Igor. Not my problem. I can't believe this thing doesn't have spotting. Like, what the frick are you doing then?
Bersaglio colpito.
Just trying to keep it together, you know? But I also know that at some point, just because things can technically get worse, doesn't mean they reasonably will. I call it rock bottom. I'm not there yet, but not as far away as I'd like it to be. You want a comfortable distance between you and rock bottom, and I don't have that. I don't have that. It's like if you're too close, you might as well be there. It's like a floor, you know? If you're dealing with programming, like that's the floor. Where you just automatically clamp to the bottom. You don't clamp up. You never seem to clamp up. If you do, it has little purpose.
Request target for airstrike. Little effort, the victor will be ours.
Nagyon eljutott el, hárító betöltve. Célpont eltalálva. Célpont eltalálva.
Request target for airstrike.
Eltaláltak! Szivárog az üzemanyag!
I gotta reload too. Of course, I gotta reload too. He doesn't know I'm here, does he? Yeah, he does.
Nagyon eljutott el, hárító betöltve.
Well, then I won't think, and that'll be it. I'll just sit here for all eternity.
Just a little more effort, and victory will surely be ours.
Is he chasing me? No! What's really funny is if I had stood my ground, I could have killed him. That's the really funny part. Which of these is a bigger reward? This is 270.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
You know, I stretched once on stream. Well, there was one of the Pakistani art salespeople, and like, because they pretend to be women, obviously. They started complimenting me on like my appearance in my freaking muscles. So I was like, I thought Pakistan didn't have gay people, but I guess they do. It's like, I thought that was haram or whatever. I guess they do in fact exist. Oh, dark. That actually happens because the clouds advance. It's not like a lighting error or anything. Nice. The clouds advanced a step, and now they're covering the sun. Even though they weren't before. War Thunder actually has real-time weather, believe it or not. And it's not like incredibly accurate or anything, but it's very fun, just like having it. The sun also moves over time. It's pretty neat. It's a shame, really, that it has almost no use whatsoever for gameplay. Because they removed the maps where the sun was like just about to set. And the sun was basically blinding a team. And they removed that from those maps where that happened. That time might still be available on maps that are like north to south, so that nobody's being blinded, but I don't know. I haven't gotten any in a long time at that time, so maybe not. It could be rare. Or like just for small teams or something. I don't know. Ooh. It was already dead. Okay. Thank goodness. That was close. It was kind of stupid to just do that. But it worked out. My eyes are itchy. Which is not improving my mood, to say the least. That's a church logo. Captured Churchill. I think. Or still have a panther. I think we won. Yeah, we won. Excellent. I just want to get the cap. This cap's a big enough bonus for me. Not a bad match. Either way, though. When is St. Patrick's Day? I don't even know. Was it today? No, it's March 17th.
Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close.
I haven't heard like anything about it this year, which is kind of odd.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
Nice. Got the whole cap on a assault map, not bad. Not bad. 6K. Almost got parts for them 18. Did a lot for the market distinction. I think the major update is going to be next week. Probably Tuesday. So that's good. To try and get intelligence. Classic Twitch streamer. Yeah, 17th. 17th of March.
In battaglia! Preparatevi! Carrista pronto! Artigliere pronto! Caricatore pronto!
Truck. The Road is a country singer. I could probably go into why, but it'd get esoteric really fast. It's not worth it. But like usually you hear about it a little bit. I don't have any green. I'm out of green. I like wear green all the time. Well, in the US, we like what? Just got Irish Heritage Month. Not to brag or anything. It's really bad. M18 gang.
Bersaglio colpito.
Nice. It took us way too long. That took us way too long. There's 4 of us here. We all shot that guy like once. And we're all like stock or something. We're just average M18 enjoyers. No. Oh no, it was a friendly fire. Why would you do that, dude? You know we're all stupid. Just right on top of me. You didn't understand the assignment. I guess not. She was right in it too, so like,
Victory is near.
what are you doing? It was the guy that was right next to me. It's like he drove into it as well. Crazy out there. Crazy in M18 land. There's a road just straight back. Igor.
Siamo stati colpiti. Bersaglio colpito.
Friends. I got one. Could be worse.
Attention to the map. Keep it up and victory will be ours.
Nice.
Tiempos eltalálva.
I was worried I was too far forward. It was just right.
Nagy erejű tankelhárító betöltve. Eltaláltak.
That's perfectly acceptable. Oh yeah. She still ended up dead.
A futómű nem működik.
think I'll do a variety stream tomorrow. Like, I know I said that like a week ago, but this time I mean it. So I think that was only like 4 days ago.
Készen állunk az indulásra.
Why do I remember that? It's worthless information. I don't know, man.
Attention to the map.
I don't know, man. Why keep track of that? Why bother? You know? What really matters is if it didn't happen.
A little more effort and victory will be ours.
That's bad, I'm dead. I'm not dead. Crazy.
Eltaláltak! Célpont eltalálva!
Oh, I'm stupid. Explains nothing. I thought I could reload fast enough. I couldn't do it. I should have shot the other side again. I think I might have gotten the kill anyway. Because of this freaking ammo rack, but whatever the heck. Whatever happened, it just drove me not to do that. That's crazy, dude. Let's drive past. So he doesn't machine gun me. You know, you could probably just pull me out of the way. Actually, I don't know if you could. Nope, I only get hit by friendly artillery. Only friendly artillery for me, thank you very much. It's like something about the shells just tastes better, I guess. Spawn zone. Yeah. I shouldn't have gone up there. Zmieni. What should I do tomorrow then?
220. Height 1,500 meters.
What would it be?
Allied forces have captured the zone. Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close.
Oh, there it is. GG indeed. I'm gonna get the better HE shells because these shells are huge. Like nothing really compares to those shells except like the 2S3M shells. I believe the 2S3M shells are crazy too. I actually think they do more damage than the Paladin. Like more explosive mass. Builders? No, horizontal drive. That's already killed me a couple times. Here we do M62. I think, at least. Heat. .12 kilograms of explosive mass. And then a VT fuse one. Let me see the Paladin. Let me see him. Yeah, a whole extra kilogram of TNT equivalent. A whole extra kilogram. $23K. Available.
In battaglia! Preparatevi!
Carista pronto. Artigliere
Like, what's something interesting
Caricatore pronto.
that would draw people to the stream? What do they want? What do the people need on this platform? Completely ignoring YouTube because there's literally no one there. YouTube is the pit, it's true. That's why the Twitch stream sends its sinners. It's kind of true though.
Allied forces have captured the zone. Another zone captured, we have the advantage.
Yeah, but like I said before, like I try a new game and no one comes. I played through all of the Half-Life like mainline titles. And only like 3 people ended up showing up.
We've captured most of the strategic zones.
Only one of them was actually a return viewer though. But, like, it's gotta be more than variety. had a theory one time that the stream was actually being like censored somehow. And I think it was. I think it was actually, but I don't think it is anymore. So I don't know what the issue is. I bullied the guy away. Which is kind of funny because like I didn't, but he left anyway. Unless you were the new guy, which I don't think is the case. Yeah, that's what like everyone's talking about, but I don't have any standout tags that would like do that. Because that's in the rules, and that doesn't actually affect it. At least not that people have found so far. So I don't think that that'd be it. Because also there's been moderators here, and they haven't made a fuss about it. Like actual Twitch admins have been in the chat, and they didn't make a fuss about it. They were just kind of like, yeah, but you still can't. Like, okay, sure. Sure. Wink, wink. And they kind of left and they haven't come back. So, I kind of just assume it's all right. I appreciate it, but I actually think that lurking might actually be more beneficial. Like, I know Twitch has done stuff to, like, cut down on lurkers, but it's never gonna work. It's just never gonna work that way. Dwarf Fortress is on sale. It's $7 off. Damn. Maybe I should get it. Maybe I should get it. I don't think anyone would actually want to watch me play Dwarf Fortress, but I want Dwarf Fortress. I thought about getting like Squad or something that's a little bit more interactive, but that didn't pan out, and I didn't really want to get it, so because it's kind of expensive. But for someone with no income, it's kind of expensive. I could try and do another investing stream. Just have graphs or something in the corner of the War Thunder gameplay. That'd be funny. Just like add a bunch of crap to the stream no one wants or asked for. Just like put the Dow Jones in a graph in the upper left or something. Like funny, yes. Practical, no. Draw new viewers, also no. Also, I wouldn't be able to do that tomorrow. I don't think that's the case anymore, but I do think that there was a time when it was. Like, the reason that I say that is because there was a time in the channel's history where there was this guy, and he would, like, literally just come in and just say, like, oh, isn't Israel the best country on earth? And, like, if I challenged it at all, he'd get upset. And, like, I think that the channel was shadow banned for a bit because of that. Like, if I would push back on stuff that was objectively false, He'd get upset. And like he would like if he got upset enough, he would disappear for a couple weeks and then come back. Even though he said he'd never come back. Like that was pretty sus. That was pretty sus. I'm not going to get into it like super in depth, but I think that that's what that was. I think that that's what that was. It might even be the cause of the apocalypse right now. Oh, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. I think he reported me to the ADL. I think that's what happened. I'm not sure, and I can't prove it, but I think that that's what that was about. Yeah, well, like that's the thing. Even if he wasn't being paid by Twitch, that's still probably what he did. So, but like Twitch doesn't have a mechanism for actually doing that. I don't think. I don't think. I could be wrong, but I don't think Twitch actually has a mechanism for shadow banning. I think it's all or nothing for Twitch. But I don't think that like I don't think that's like what it does. I think it's like it has to be like kept up on, you know? Like the people that would shadow ban someone, at least in something like Twitch's case, because I know that's the case on YouTube, because people have talked about it. Like if you're shadow banned on YouTube, or like you get demonetized, it like affects your like output or your visibility, but it only affects your visibility for like a certain amount of time, and you're like under more scrutiny. It's very strange, but if that's what happened here, that's definitely what was going on. That's definitely what was going on. Because then, like, at a certain point, I just refused to engage with it, and now he's gone and not coming back. So, I do, in fact, think that that's what that was. It's like he was basically the enforcer, or the accountant, or the tracker, or whatever. I think that might have been what his job was. But once I started refusing to just engage with him at all, he left, and things have been a lot more chill. So I do believe that that was a honeypot, and I'm probably on a list because of it. So that crazy crap happens here. Because I'm not the most politically correct person out there. So I do think that that's what that was. Because I was like even more of a nobody then. I know it's hard to imagine. Me being more of a nobody. I used to have music with like Twitch soundtrack, but that's gone now. Also, I know that like some people they prefer the stream to not have music because if the stream doesn't have music, then they can just play their own music. So like I think it's a little bit more chill that way. Like I get having the music, but like if you're gonna have music, you want like you want the audience to be able to like turn it off, and I don't know how to do that, but I know that I'm pretty sure it can be done. I don't know that it can be done. But like I think I can have a button that's like, oh, mute the music. I don't know how to do that, and I don't think it's worth trying, frankly. Because also then I have to pay for music now. I didn't have to in the Twitch soundtrack days. Actually, I believe Twitch soundtrack was what it was that allowed you to like turn off the stream's music. Like just for you. I think that's what it was. It was a good thing. I don't know why they got rid of it. I think they got rid of it just because like so few people used it. But whatever. You know? Like I get it. You want to cut costs. It was a good system. But also like a lot of the categories and like a lot of the music was like not very conducive. White band audio. I could. But then it's also like copyright free, but in order to use it, you have to put basically a link, or you have to put the songs that were used in the description. You can't do that on Twitch, so like, your hands are still tied. Twitch is a abomination when it comes to like copyright stuff. People say that YouTube is bad, and that's true. But on Twitch, you have like no options for it. You have no way of managing it. Like I'll check them out, but we probably won't put them on stream. Just 'cause, like there's so many pitfalls, and it's better than it used to be, and that's also something that sucks. It used to be better. Perhaps. Because it's like otherwise, like without like Twitch soundtrack or whatever, you go. There's basically two major options. Because I remember looking into this. I don't know if there's another one now, but there were basically two entities that you would deal with. It was Epidemic Sound. They're pretty good. They do a lot of stuff still, I think. And there was another one. Let's see. Let me see. There's also NCS. NCS, I think is what it was. Or Monster Cat. Monster Cat, that's what it is. Yeah. There's Epidemic Sound and Monster Cat. That's the duopoly in the creator sound or like creator background music space. Epidemic? I think it's Epidemic. Yeah. No. Is it? Let me search. Yeah, Epidemic Sound. Is actually named from like 2012, so no relation to 2020 and COVID. But Epidemic Sound is owned by SoundCloud, which is owned by, I think it's freaking not Warner Bros. Universal. And the other option is Monster Cat, which is owned by iHeartRadio, which is owned by Disney. So, yeah. Or SoundCloud is owned by somebody else. Let me look and see. So you got all of this content. It's like you got all this content and it's owned by the two media corporations. The two media corporations. Actually, it says here that or it says on Wikipedia that it's owned by Instagram, but I don't think that's true, actually. But yeah, once you start getting into that like area, it's over. It's like you're dealing with freaking people that can basically just decide that it's over. There's like no information here. It's like the actual Wikipedia article itself is like half of a page, and then the other half is just freaking sources, which I don't even believe. Or are they not owned by anyone? What was that? Let me just search who owns Epidemic Sound. Because I know a lot of the Epidemic Sound stuff is just on SoundCloud, but I don't know if that's real. Ba, 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 ba. Oh no, it's just owned by shareholders or freaking hedge funds, so might as well be. Might as well be a freaking Universal or whatever. Let me go look at who owns Monster Cat. I also don't know when that was, when that article was. Wah, wah, wah. Like you got your choice between hedge fund or literally Disney. Decisions, decisions. Wah, wah. Oh yeah, that's where Marshmallow came from. I forget that sometimes. It's not gonna tell me. It's not gonna tell me, so I believe it is in fact Disney. Because screw them. It's easy to assume. At least it was. Apparently they're funded by the government of Canada. It's like Canada, just as a whole. Music BC, Creative BC in the province of British Columbia. Who owns Music BC? Oh no, that's just Canada. That's just the country of Canada. not really better. Can't go to that article. Oh no, it did load. But I remember a long ass time ago. Like Monster Cat and Disney are heavily involved together. Monster Cat and iHeartRadio. And Universal. Universal Music. Universal Music is a hell of a rabbit hole. Universal Music is a hell of a rabbit hole. Google search how much music. Does Universal Music Group own? It'll probably tell me on the Wikipedia page. Yeah. That's what I do. Tencent owns 20% of Universal Music Group? Damn. We are so screwed. No wonder they don't produce anything good anymore. Vivo. Yeah, I forgot Vivo. Forgot about Vivo. But yeah, then you got freaking Universal Music Group and what is it? There's like so then you go and there's like three major music streaming services. And like one of them is Amazon, one of them is Universal, and the other one is like I think it was Pandora is owned by somebody else. It's like, dude, I'm stuck in like early 2000s. Freaking Lifehouse is epic, okay? Let me just search largest music streaming platforms. I'll remember. There's like three of them. Yeah, Tidal. Then Apple Music is basically dead. I hate to say it. Cool. That sounds terrible. That sounds like it's all freaking mumble rap. Amazon Music. I don't even know why the frick Amazon Music exists when Amazon owns like such a large share in Spotify. Like, what the frick, dude? What's the point? I don't get the point. Sirius XM is different. Doesn't really count as like what we've come to know as a music streaming service. Is that a woman? I don't think that's a woman. I know women, and I don't think that's one of them. Okay. Self-described audiophile. Yeah, that's a man. Tammy is a man. Deezer. Deezer was a freaking meme even then. Even when it came out. I don't even remember it. Do you know how I know? Because it just sounds like the freaking meme. Yeah, these are actually like not music streaming services. So thanks, Mr. Tammy. Yeah, you get Spotify, Tidal, and for some reason no one talks about Pandora, which is, I believe, still really big. Even though it's not like perfect, you know. Like you can't really just pick the next song unless you have premium. But it's like fun fact: my great grandmother actually uses Spotify Premium, or not Spotify Premium, Pandora Premium. She's 87. 87, I think, or 89. Not important or crucial to anything. I just think it's kind of funny. Born in 1939. Oh, nice. That's my maternal, paternal grandmother or great grandmother. Uh, that sucks. Unless they were like really old, then it's like, you know, it's like it lived a long life. Like, yeah, it sucks that they're gone, but it's like you were 93. Happens. Not assuming they were, but like in general. But yeah, I think there's Title, and I think there's another one actually. I think there's four actually. Yeah. Mother's father's mother. Mm, Block Inc. owner of the point of sale system Square. No. But yeah, like basically it's like once a company gets big enough, they buy a music streaming service. It's just what you do. Once you cross the $100 billion in revenue, it's music streaming service time. Was it Title? I think there's another one though. I think there's another one. Wait, they offer their own. They offer their own freaking audio codec. That's pretty based, and they just offer it for free. That's based. Well, I guess if you're not relying on your music streaming platform for money, it's kind of easy. Just like throw it away. Did you know? Did you know that FFmpeg, like one of the most popular like video codecs, is actually not free? It's actually not free. Windows, like when you get a Windows license, you're like a significant portion of it is paying for the FFmpeg audio encoder or video encoder. It's like $100 a freaking license or something. Let me see. Yeah, it's really, really gross. But like most people use it. I think it's FFmpeg. It's like they're so like when you hear about YouTubers converting stuff into FFmpeg, they are freaking codec slop enjoyers. But really, it's just people with Windows because it comes with the Windows installation. Like when you pay for Windows, or even if you just install Windows, like Microsoft has the rights, so you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, rich people. Mm, I think it was FFmpeg. I think it's FFmpeg. No, it's not FFmpeg. It's something else. Or it's like Nvidia owns the license or whatever. But it is very, very gross. Most YouTubers are suckers. I don't actually use FFmpeg. I use something else. I like MOV. I think MOV is good. Or no, I use MKV. MKV is free. Where is it? FFmpeg. No, that's not like the codec. That's a freaking editing software by the same name. Or it's like not FFmpeg or something. It's like something else. Let me look and see. Let me open this. Loading plugin FFmpeg. No, that's not going to work. I don't have an account for that. I don't know why I have it installed then. What do I use for editing when I do editing, which is never. DaVinci Resolve. No. What is it? What is it? Is it just MPEG? No, it's H.264. H.264, that's what it is. H.264. But H.264 and H.265, they basically end up getting like you compress them into the codec. So like FFmpeg. That's what it is. But like if you don't have it, you're screwed. It's one of those things. unless you're like based like me and you're like I'm gonna use MKV sucker. Mm, I use H.264 apparently. That's what I've just found out. We search H.264 cost. Is this guy actually gonna say what the cost is? Or is he just gonna ramble on like a freaking journalist? Yeah, for subscription video services, the royalty is an annual fee based on the number of subscribers for H.264. From zero for up to 250,000 subscribers to $100,000 for more than a million subscribers per year. So you take something like Disney Plus or Netflix or Hulu, they're all paying this company insane amounts of money. So even though the company basically doesn't do anything, they're just a rights holder. Yeah, I don't even think that they made it. Like, I don't even think that they made the codec or the whatever it is. Yeah, codecs. But also it gets paid. It gets paid by like, say you're a company and you make Blu-rays for Shrek. You make Blu-rays for Shrek or your streaming service. Those people have to pay. It's atrocious. Oh, and it is MPEG, not FFmpeg. MPEG. Like Nvidia has to pay for an MPEG license. Probably. Let me look and see. Like you pay per use, basically. Yeah, MPEG. MPEG 2, MPEG 4, etc. The hardware manufacturer has to pay for it. Which is absurd. But yeah. The land of codec rights is a hellscape. It's a hellscape. And basically what they do is they prevent people from, or anybody from actually breaking into the hardware manufacturing space. Like, oh, you're not Sony? You're not Sony? Well, you're not allowed to make Blu-rays because you cannot afford the MPEG license. Or, oh, you want to make motherboards? You want to make motherboards like Asus? Well, you're not allowed to do that because you can't afford to pay the license. Stuff like that. Because you have to be able to pay the license in order to actually break into the space. It's just like an extra fee. But like that, no one talks about that. No one talks about it. It's crazy. Like nobody talks about it. Because no sane normal person actually knows what freaking MPEG is. And why would they? Like, oh, every phone, every modern freaking smartphone. But I know. Why do I know? Because someone said something about it one time. And now I'm cursed with the knowledge that I will never be able to get into freaking motherboard manufacturing. Because there's no way I want to deal with these people. Not that I would want to get into motherboard manufacturing or graphics card manufacturing, etc. But if I wanted to, I know that I couldn't. Because there's no way I could freaking keep up with that price. There's no way I could keep up with that. Because, like, then you get into, well, the businesses are already freaking duopolies. Like, for graphics card manufacturing, you've got NVIDIA and you've got freaking AMD. Then you've also now got Intel. But Intel is a bit different because they did CPUs. They've already got all the machines. Like, I could, theoretically. There's one channel on YouTube that's like, here's how to do freaking electromagnetic lithography. Or whatever the frick. With, like, household objects. It's actually a very cool series. It's actually a very cool series, but like, you have to do it on such a scale that it's not worth it. Like, here's my freaking shit ass CPU. You could buy this, or you can buy the freaking bare bones Intel one for half the price. And like, oh, you want to make freaking you want to make your own machine to do the lithography for you? Well, too bad, the Dutch are coming for your ass. They're the ones that own all the patents for it. Or freaking Canon. Canon, you know, the camera company. Yeah, they do all of the machines for, or it's Canon. And there's another one. I think it's, let me look and see. I think there's two companies. ASML. That's the Dutch one. And I think there's a Japanese company as well. I think the Japanese one is Canon. But like, you're gonna have to deal with those two freaking giants. Like, ASML has been doing it since freaking literally 1984. And Canon has been doing it forever as well. You think they're not going to kill you if they find you freaking trying to recreate their technology? You think they're not going to freaking blast you to high heavens? Nice try. It's so niche. It's so niche. Like, everything in tech, like physical tech, is so incredibly niche. All the companies that do it have been doing it for years. Like, unless you come up with something groundbreaking, you're not getting in. You're just not doing it. Because then, in order to get there, you also have to already know how it works. You have to already know how it works. Let me search basic uh, hardware computing principles. And like I've come pretty close to understanding it a couple times. But not hardware. Digital computing. Not to be confused with analog computing, which is crazy. Like Stanford Online. This is a college course. This is a college course at Stanford. Oh, and not to mention, if you mess up, if you mess it up, it just won't work. It just won't work. So you have to feed it basically tons of freaking electricity if you're doing it terribly. No, this is for programming. I want to show you a diagram of freaking how this shit looks if you map it all out. Like, let me just search, like, I know it'll work. Oh, you have to do it with freaking special silicon. Here is an Intel Pentium 4 die. This is from the 90s. You have to know what all of that does. Like, granted, some of it's repeating. Some of it's repeating, and this isn't the highest quality. Like, this is the die. This is why no one has gotten into the lithography business since, like, the 80s. Actually, here's one that's better. This is, I don't actually think that this is a Pentium 4. It says it is, but I don't actually think it is. I think that this is a used one. I think that's a used one or something. It's like, this is a tinier image, but it's a little bit more clear. Like, these are cores. These cores are what actually performs the operations. Then the L3 cache stores outputs that then go to RAM, etc. PCIe, that goes to the graphics card, which you have to physically manage the logic to actually, like, process information going to it. There's the memory controller that stores what you already know in RAM. And then MISC IO is your actual input. And everything is done in binary. The secret is it being in binary actually does make it a fair bit easier than it seems. It actually does make it a fair bit easier. Like, here's this one. This one's also a little bit easier to understand. A little bit easier. But this is actually even older. You can kind of tell. Like those are soldering points. Those actually like solder it down. Wait, Intel TM71. So this is probably from 1971. This is the technology that you, as the average person, would have to compete with. Good freaking luck. Or even what's happening now, like a recent development. Like they do this with computers now, but 1971, chances are this was all like because the way they do it is they have to like etch it into the silicon, which if you don't know is basically a glass. They put it like they basically carve little grooves, little tiny grooves into the glass because the glass is a resistor, so they don't have to worry so much about like energy jumping over the barriers to other lines where it's not supposed to be. Like it's a little bit easier to understand and like I remembered. Yeah, it was a good one. There's another guy that did a entire computer on a breadboard. Like you could kind of see the logic stuff, like buses, ROMs, capacitor. Like you can kind of see it. You can almost see it if you really know what it is. If you really know what it is. But then it's like it's not just that. There's a certain standard that you have to abide by while you're making the computer. A lot of modern CPUs are also a lot bigger. Let me look at let's do 14900K. Or 900, just in general. They haven't released this one, damn. What about 13? Yeah, there we go. That's a new one. And you'll notice it's a lot whiter. It's a lot whiter because it's actually two dyes stuck together. Like a CPU core, CPU core, CPU core, CPU core. It's actually 16 cores on a i9, right? I don't remember. Like, this is a terrible picture. You can kind of see the same principles. And I think, let me look at the, see, this one's crazy. Probably don't have a picture for this one either. Robotics is actually not as complex. But like the AMD Threadripper, like one of the most recent Threadrippers. Nah, robotics is easy because you're just dealing with like the outputs of stuff. I could look at this one. Look at this one. This is the bottom side of the Threadripper Pro 3945WX. This is 12 cores. and 24 threads. But like, there's a 96 core. It's a 96 core Threadripper. These are the connections to the motherboard. That's from TechSpot. Because like, a lot of the processes for like the cores themselves hasn't really changed all that much, but they're like made more robust so they can send more power through it, and that's where you get the clock speed. The clock speed measures how fast the core is actually computing. It's a whole rabbit hole, and it's really, really neat, but like, I am on the higher end of knowledge in it without having gone to college for it and without working in that field. And like, as close as you can reasonably get before they just hire you on the spot, because it's that ridiculous. I could probably go into like PR for a company like that. That'd be pretty neat. But yeah, like the Threadripper, like the big Threadripper. The big Threadripper is 96 cores. And I think they're like all like smaller cores. So like, it's not that crazy. But like, come on. Come on, it's still ridiculous. Because like, and then once you get like the resources to build the CPU or whatever it is, then you have to basically make it capable of doing what is called a RISC-V emulation. I don't know what that is really, but apparently it's something that like old computers did to basically like manage the resources of the computer, of the CPU. Is a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of crap. But then basically, then you have to choose, because the OS is not the lowest level portion of software. So you got the BIOS, the UEFI, and then you boot into the freaking RISC-V emulator, and then you boot to the OS, and it's just insane. It's just insane. It's insane. And that's why like people talk about how, oh, here's a good picture. It's kind of promotional, so it's a bit glowy, but like, there it is. Computer. Like, you could kind of see the lines. Kind of see all the lines, like all the cores. Like, I think that's a core, and that's a core, and that's a core, that's a core. So it's 4 cores. There's 4 more cores, probably. I'm assuming. So like, so that's 8, 16, 32. And those are probably cores as well. Probably only like half as many, and like, people say it's magic, or it might as well be magic, because it might as well be magic. It might as well be freaking magic. Like, it's not, but it basically is. Literally, you inscribe the funny symbols on glass, smaller than you can see them, and then you can make it do calculations. It's crazy. Computing is crazy. It's like just barely outside my mental capabilities. I probably could if I tried. It's like, this is just kind of a funny picture. Kind of a funny picture. Here's how big it is. Here's how big it is. Oh, it's just kind of silly. It's crazy. All of that for a little square. A little square that can think harder than you. It could do math infinitely faster than you can. But the real catch in my mind, is that it all has to be in sequence. It all has to be sequenced in binary. Because then you get into quantum computing, which is like shockingly a bit easier in my mind. Because like, oh, you deal with these, instead of dealing with electrons in sequence, which is obviously one-dimensional, what if there was a freaking particle, like smaller than an atom or whatever, and or like you use the freaking nucleus of atoms, because those are full numbers. Those are full numbers, not sequenced. Like, they don't have to be sequenced. Like, with the electrons, you have to do it in binary. So you can theoretically get almost infinitely more processing power out of it. It's crazy. It's crazy out there. It's crazy what the Dutch have done with the camera. Where it's like, normal person, even smart person, is never going to make their own computer company, like their own CPU manufacturing company. It's just not gonna happen. You need like 8 guys, and then it takes multiple people to even design the CPUs. Like, there's an interview with one of the like architects, one of the CPU architects for the Threadripper that I showed. And he talked about how he basically only worked on a tiny portion of it. A tiny portion. Like, he said it was like tiny. And he basically like made sure that all of the connections worked with the people next to him. And he didn't really talk with anyone outside of the people next to him. Like, even if you wanted to, you need like 18 different people that know everything you know to actually make it work. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, if you want to talk about like intellectual fields, like freaking physical computer science has got to be up there. Like, sure, doctor is more practical, but like, you might as well be a wizard. You might as well be a wizard. I'm like, my intellect and wisdom is so boundless. I can inscribe the freaking gold into the funny glass and make pictures on a screen. I believe they actually do call it. I think there is one step that is called inscription, actually.
Attention to the map!
It's crazy.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
So you want to talk about freaking human marvels? Okay, it's in your pocket. It's in your pocket, sitting there. And they're only going to get more ridiculous. Because, like, this guy, an ordinary person doesn't even need that. That's how insanely overpowered it is. It's like this CPU, yeah, because you can see where it's like 2 dies or whatever. At least I think that the Threadripper is, but like a normal person, like even me, who does like more intense computational tasks sometimes on his computer, even I don't need that. That thing is ridiculous. That's for like processing, like, apparently freaking, what are they? MRI machines. Apparently MRI machines need that kind of processing power. The ordinary person doesn't. You don't even need that. But what you have in your pocket is still ridiculous. It's crazy. There's a video. Let me see if I can bring it up. Um, yeah, they broke overclocking world records. Yeah, this is it. It's a 4.5 hour stream to. Let me just pop this out. Come on. We didn't do it. Okay. It's this stream. It's freaking 4 hours and 40 minutes. That guy, he was one of the architects. That guy's just like a PR guy. But let me go here. It's a benchmark application. Right there. Here. We mute it. I don't think I can get copyright claimed if I mute it, right? Not that I think they would, but like that's liquid nitrogen. Because they have to literally pour it onto the CPU because the cores heat up so fast. It's crazy. It's crazy. Because there's so many of them and they're so close together. If you're overclocking, they're gonna heat up. So also, like, once you get to a CPU that strong, basically like air cooling is not viable anymore. You have to get a liquid cooler for your computer. That's the only way to freaking cool it fast enough. For reasonable use. But yeah. It's crazy. In the palm of your hand. It fits in the palm of your hand. And that's like a really, really big one.
Felkészülni. A vezető készen áll.
Even like modern smartphones.
A töltéskezelő
Even
készen
modern
áll.
smartphones. They're magnitudes more powerful than the original iPhone. It's crazy. It's all crazy. Maybe I should look and see if like one of those companies is like hiring for PR. Probably wouldn't get it. But it'd be pretty funny. Let's see if ASML is hiring for PR. It's just insane.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
And that information, like, at least how to do it on like a breadboard or something, that should be like publicly available. But like, I've never bothered to like look into it or anything.
Célpont eltalálva.
Like, that should be publicly available just in case like something happens and all the people that already know how it works just disappear or something.
Eltaláltak.
I think. Like, condense it in like a pamphlet or something. But it can never be lost. Because at this point, it's surprisingly on shaky ground. It's like normal people don't think about it. But yeah, it's an industry that does get stifled quite heavily by like external factors, like the college system. Obviously, is the big one, because it's like, oh, it puts you in massive amounts of debt to actually like, go to school and learn some of that crap. But like, you know, for those people, like when they finish it, and it's like those are all very high-paying jobs.
A töltéskezelő készen áll.
So like it doesn't feel like a lot of debt, so it continues to prop up the school system. And like if you drop out of school after you were trying to go to school for like microprocessing, your life is basically ruined. Your life's basically ruined. Because like none of it's public information. Like even the certain substances are all proprietary for like Intel and AMD. So. Like it is interesting, but if you want to get into it, you kind of can't. Especially like if you're already too old. I've never heard a single story of anyone like going back to college and getting a job at like Intel or AMD. So, like outside of like PR, should we say less important stuff.
Eltaláltak. Nagy erejű tankerhárító betöltve. Tűz!
Oh yeah, robotics is easy because like basically everything has drivers already.
Töltéskezelő eszméletlen.
Because also robotics is like, hey, I made this cool robot and I posted a video about it on YouTube. Boom, you're a roboticist now when you're a professional. that's kind of the robotics pipeline. Like let me search how to interface with a servo motor.
Attention to the map.
With Raspberry Pi, sure.
We're winning.
Compared to what we just saw, that's it. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 wires. 5 wires to interact with just a servo motor. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's it. But it works. Like obviously that doesn't cover the software side, but even that is that ain't shit. That ain't shit on microprocessing. No matter what it is, really.
The enemy's getting closer to victory.
It's like also with microprocessing, you're dealing with measurements. You're dealing with measurements that don't mean anything to a regular person. Like, oh, what's the difference between a nanometer and the micrometer? Who the frick cares? They have to care. That's like the only time it's worth using. Or measuring things in atoms. Which, like, electron microscope can do that. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But to a normal person, it doesn't matter. Oh, there's a specific package even to make it easier. Right here. Like, wow. How complex. So we do GND, GPIO 25. That's ground, probably, actually. Then that's probably what does that stand for? Like, let's just read it. Let's just read the article. Let's just read the article. Let's just read the article. Interfacing servo motors can be an essential task in many projects, like building a custom robot. There are several methods that one can employ to interface servo motors with a Raspberry Pi. This article introduces 2 of them. We even get 2 methods. 2 methods in this article that's only half a page. Introduces 2 of them and explains how servo motors work. This knowledge should enable the reader to control servos with different microcontrollers, or even a simple 555 timer-based circuit. How do servo motors work? Usually servos have 3 inputs and 2 of them supply power to the motor located inside the plastic body. The 3rd input controls how much the servo turns. Usually the input signal is pulse width modulated, which sounds a little scary, but not really, because when you account for modulated, meaning altered, it's just altered based on pulse length. And its frequency doesn't change over time. Instead, the servo motor rotates to a certain angle with the duty cycle of the PWM inputs, or when the duty cycle of the PWM input signal changes. The servo used in this example can turn 180 degrees in total, while 90 degrees in each direction when the duty cycle is 5%. A 1 millisecond long high pulse. So they kind of gave it away. The servo rotates to its minimum position. The duty cycle changes to 10%, which is a 2 millisecond long high pulse. Servo rotates all the way to the right. Duty cycles in between correlate to different angles between 90 degrees and plus 90 degrees. However, these numbers might vary for different servos and between manufacturers. Therefore, it's always necessary to consult the datasheet of the servo. Note, the Raspberry Pi shouldn't supply the voltage to the servo. Instead, employ an external power supply to the servo motor because the Raspberry Pi's GPIO pins might be unable to supply enough power to make the motor turn at an acceptable rate. To make a Raspberry Pi control a servo motor, connect the plus 5 volts and the ground lines of the servo to an external power supply, and the remaining signal wire to an I/O pin on the Raspberry Pi. So those are literally just different I/O inputs, or outputs, sorry. And those are multiple grounds. Easy peasy. Don't forget to connect any ground pin of the Raspberry Pi to the ground of the power supply as well. Well, actually, you want it to be connected, don't you? Schematic diagram available on Schemit. And a servo module. You can use pip to install the library on a Raspberry Pi. If the RPI GPIO package isn't installed yet, download it as well. Otherwise, the GPIO 0 library won't work. Sudo apt-get install python 3 rpi.gpio, sudo pip3 install GPIO 0. Once that's done, it's then possible to execute the following script. From GPIO 0, import servo. From time, import sleep. Servo equals servo, parenthesis 25, try, while true, servo.min. That basically just sets it to the minimum. And sleep for half a second. Servo.mid. Oh, that's probably a, what is it, in the library, that's probably a function that just, like, sets it to 0. Then it sleeps for half a second. Then mid sets it to halfway. Max sets it to the max, obviously. Except keyboard interrupt. Keyboard interrupt is usually Control-C in Python. Or in Linux terminals, which Raspberry Pi has. And as you can see, this library allows you to quickly turn the servo to one of the three predefined positions. This simple Python script first imports the request libraries, then it defines that the servo is connected to pin 25, before starting an infinite loop in which the servo gets rotated to its minimum, middle, and maximum positions. Minimum mean, actually, is the word that he's looking for, not mid. Middle implies middle. Mean implies average between the two, so it's relative. Just a fun fact. Looks like his middle doesn't really fit. Servo's value to a number between -1 and 1. A value of -1 corresponds to the minimum position of the servo. 1 represents the servo's maximum rotation. So here's a different one, different way to do it. GPIO 0, import servo for time, import sleep, servo equals servo 25. Value equals -1. That sets it to the minimum. Try while true, servo.value equals value. It's -1. And then val equals val plus 0.1. If val is greater than 0.1 or greater than 1, val equals -1. So it's roll, pop back up. And val equals -1. So it'll just loop that. And accept, keyboard interrupt, program stopped. That's it. That's it. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Simple script works similarly to the one previous it. Blah, 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 what I said. They're all capable of controlling servos. If you want to control even more servos on your project, your project requires GPIO pins for other things, then it's possible to employ a servo controller board. Sounds spooky until you realize it's basically just a big splitter. These modules usually communicate with a microcontroller or a similar device over I2C. So it's possible to control many servos utilizing only 2 GPIO power pins of the Raspberry Pi. There are, many different types of modules that you can buy, and they often work very differently. Therefore, you should consult the datasheet of a module to learn how to use it. Unlike regular DC motors, servos typically cannot rotate a full 360 degrees. Learn something new every day. But they can, so guess not. That's it. And is that the Raspberry Pi used? I don't know what Raspberry Pi was used. But the point is, like, $75, $55, $45, $35. And those are the pins that you'd be connecting to. Glad I know what those finally do. They're not just like a big-ass power port for CPU. It's on motherboards. Glad I haven't made that mistake. Yeah. But that's it. It's really not complicated at all in comparison. You've even got people that build fully functional computers in Minecraft now, which is very good. Once you got it, you got it. True. But yeah. Robotics is like, it's the ice age of computer sciences. It's like, yeah, it's cool and all. It's cool and all. But in terms of complexity, it's like, you stick the motor to the computer. You put the servo on the board. You put the mallow on the gram, etc. It's like, it's perfectly designed for mass appeal, but overall it's not like the deepest field. Like the military thinks it is, but people in the military, don't get me started. Never find a greater population of midwits.
Artillere pronto. Artigliere pronto. Caricatore pronto.
Especially right now. Like it hasn't always been so bad, but these days. I can get into that too, but that's decidedly less interesting. And just basically dunking on people that have thrown their life away. Or at least are willing to. I could go on and on and on about that too. And the problem is, like, I don't really go off on tangents like that if there's no one else in the chat. So, like, yeah, it's interesting and it's engaging, but, like, I need someone to, like, kick it off, you know? Join us next time when we discuss occult influence on something. I don't know. Graphene. We'll discuss graphene next time. Not to be confused with graphite. We'll probably get blacklisted again, though. No. Talking crazy. Hey, apparently I've been there before. Because it does relate to the cults. There was a study, I remember it, that found that people injected with graphene could have their freaking dreams visualized using AI and magnetic resonance. So it's a whole rabbit hole. Graphene is crazy. It's like you get like a super like vague picture, and then you run it through an AI, and it's basically able to see your mind's eye. I don't know how it worked. That was like, I don't know, 8 years ago that I saw that. Probably not that many. It just sounds like schizophrenia, but it's not. I took a test to determine what I'm most afraid of, and I like didn't really get an answer. I got like, oh, you're not really afraid of much of anything. So, but thinking more about it, I think I might just be afraid of the future in general. Thoughts? Yeah. Or maybe I'm just insane. Maybe I've just discovered a new layer of depression. One that CIA has been hiding from me. Yeah. Like, even then, it's like corpos that have mostly, like, proliferated it. Which, funnily enough, also ties back to cult. But I don't want to get blacklisted again.
Enemy forces have captured the zone.
Yeah. Well, that's because Coca-Cola is actually, like, one of the biggest corporations in the world. So, like, if they're doing something, it basically, like, paves the way for smaller companies. Which, like I said, really could only be, like... It could only have negative effects on the general population. Like, why would they want to do that? Well, I'm not going to get into it. No! Normalization and crap. I didn't see the people yet. All of those people. I hate them. It's a strange and unforgiving world out there. Yeah, I know, I've seen it. I'm just trying to keep my mental state together, dude. It ain't working. It ain't working. It's like joining the IRA for St. Patrick's Day. That's where I'm at. Yeah. Like, something just feels off. Something just feels off recently. I don't know what it is. Something ain't right. The adrenaline and the intrigue keeps me going. What I live for. This platform is hell. It's hell. I said, like, I've been playing Deus Ex. I've been playing a little bit of Magic the Gathering. Arena, not like the real version, the real life version. What else do we get? Blender. I did a Marvel Rivals stream once. What else do we got? What else do we got in here? There ain't much here. Not gonna lie. Intravenous? I could play that. Intravenous 2. I don't know what it's about. I know I got both of them. I don't know anything about them. I think it'd be fun. Marvel Rivals. Proton. If you don't know, Proton is Valve's compatibility layer for the Steam Deck. Because the Steam Deck runs Linux. So Proton is to basically allow Windows stuff to run on the Steam Deck. Because Valve didn't feel like paying the license for Windows, which is very based. Very, very based. It's like not giving Windows money. Very cool. It actually works really well. I've actually found more success with the legacy versions though, which is not very cool. Like War Thunder, it like won't load properly if you're not on a legacy version. I could show that. So it'll just work and I'll be confused. Planet Side 2. I streamed that a long ass time ago. Apparently, Red Alert. Or no, not Red Alert. Command and Conquer. Well, I guess it's kind of the same. Apparently, they've become open source now, which is actually a rare mega W for EA. Properties. compatibility. Hotfix? We'll try hotfix. Like it literally just won't work. Or like the anti-cheat won't start or something. Making it practically worthless. They're just not going to compile the shader. Probably not, just because I'd have to pay for them. Maybe it's mega stingy, but you know, no income. This is frozen. That fixed it, I think. Yeah, it's true. I feel like I talked about before, with like Steam coming out with its new thing, like its console, basically. I'm not sure, honestly, if things like Game Pass Core and like PSN Plus are gonna stick around. I think I just freaking froze the PC. No, I didn't. Oh no, it's locked to the other monitor. And anti-cheat didn't start anyway, so that's a bummer. Yeah. Just Wi-Fi or Ethernet. Like that's the way to go, honestly. Like it might possibly be what Xbox is working toward. Like just separate Game Pass and Game Pass Core and then just do away with Game Pass Core and just have Game Pass. Like I think Game Pass is actually pretty good. I think it's actually a pretty good bargain. But like having Game Pass Core is probably really killing them in the console wars, which they've kind of said they don't even want to do anymore. And like PlayStation is like ditching the exclusives, or at least the exclusives are dropping PlayStation, so who knows how it's gonna go. does one join the IRA these days? Would you even want to join the IRA? Because like Sinn Féin is so just ass as a political party. So what are you talking about? Irish politics, dude. Irish politics. Yeah. Made it kind of like pointless. I think that a lot of those kind of things are going to change when freaking, because what's also going to happen is dang it, there's something else. Oh yeah. I was going to say chances are everyone is waiting to see how well freaking GTA 6 does. Based off of how well GTA 6 performs, that's going to basically decide the future of online gaming. And I don't freaking know how it's going to be. It's kind of spooky. I don't think that GTA 6 will be an exceptionally good game. I just don't think it will be. I could be wrong. But yeah, like that wasn't that bad, but overall it was still very penny pinching. Like I get it. I get it. I really do, but mm. It's just not like incredibly viable in the modern age. The age where like Fortnite, the freaking largest freaking multiplayer game ever, it's free. So like it's literally all in the microtransactions. Yeah. Like basically everyone is gonna have to pick between either microtransaction free to play or $70 title. That's kind of where we're going. And depending on whether or not GTA 6 has positive views on its microtransactions, that is going to be the deciding factor. I think. Because it's basically going to decide if microtransactions are more worth it than actually paying for the game or not. That's basically what we're all waiting for. Because like if GTA 6 comes out and like everybody buys the game, but we find out that nobody buys the microtransactions, then microtransactions are dead. If GTA 6 comes out and like people buy it on sale because it's going to be expensive, then we'll know that it's going the other way. Like people wait for it to be on sale or something. Which I don't even think GTA games really go on sale, and I doubt this one will, but that's kind of my thought process. Is it's going to be one of the two.
It's going to be one of the two. And it's going to basically decide what the next 10 years are like for gaming. Like PC gaming or just gaming in general. It's like, obviously, everybody knows. Yeah. Literally. Everybody knows that the subscription service model at this point is incredibly predatory. Everybody knows that. Basically, everyone is going, or game publishers and whatnot are going to have to decide if that's worth it or if they would rather have publicity. Or like even just like paying for online service. Like that sucks. That's probably gonna go away, like I said. It's like, oh, if I can just play games, if I could play online games for free, that's gonna be the one I go with. You know? But also, like I said, like Steam is about to enter that space. Steam is about to enter the console wars at some point. It's probably going to release with Half-Life 3. One of the most anticipated titles in gaming. Up there with GTA 6. And you'll be able to get both. That's a recipe for a hell of an entrance. That is a recipe for a hell of an entrance. We'll just have to see. Was it Valve has finally like publicly stated that they are in fact working on Half-Life 3. Oh. Probably. Probably. It's like it's set up to be this year, so unless you're turning 30 this year. There's a very high likelihood. Well, that's good. It's like prospect detected, dating mode activated. Nah. Unless. No. Gonna be crazy. But like basically what I'm saying, like if you boil down what I'm saying, yeah, probably. Who knows though? Maybe they're like setting everybody on it. Who knows? But as I was saying, basically, whereas companies are basically bound by the economy. What's going to happen over the next couple years is it's not going to be the economy that drives the gaming PC industries. It's going to instead be dependent on the companies themselves and their willingness to adapt. Because with Valve coming on the scene, with Valve coming on the freaking console scene, it's going to shake it up. It's going to shake it up. And they basically have to decide their markets. Hopefully, in a perfect world, both PlayStation and Xbox pick different paths. Hopefully, they'll pick different paths and people can just decide what they like and go with that. But something tells me that that's impossible. It's like the last freaking 15 years have told me that that is not going to happen. I just don't foresee it. It's like, I hope that the choice actually returns to the consumer. A pipe dream, I know. That the consumer can actually choose what they want. Instead of basically just being sucked into one freaking corporate slop fest. Where there's not really any difference. I think I'm gonna cut the stream. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna try and focus on not losing all hope. So, stay around. Hope you enjoyed. What is this? What even is this? I hope. If the past is anything to go by. Anything here? Anything seem good? I could try and do some... I could try to do some freaking Magic the Gathering arena tomorrow. Get that a shot. Also, it's more of a title where I can chat. It's a lot smaller mentally. I don't need nearly as much mental capacity for that as I do with War Thunder. I still gotta pay attention to it, but more of a talking game. So maybe we'll be led down more interesting paths. Who knows? So yeah. Join the Discord, whatnot. Look forward to it. See ya.